Hey Krishna, can you hear my voice? Am I audible? Okay, let's start. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you all very much for joining today's session. We have been discussing from the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yesterday we completed the sixth chapter, which is disappearance of Rishabhadev. I will do a quick recap of that. First, he described about the, um, you know, Parikshit Maharaj asked this question about why is it that Rishabhadev, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but let us assume that he assumed the role of a perfected yogi. But these kind of perfected yogis, for them, these mystic siddhis which come on their own will not affect them. It will not bind them. They will not get attached to it. So why was Rishabdev so cautious and not accepting those mystic siddhis? What is the fear for such a perfected personality like him? And Shukadev Goswami, in a sense, mentioned that no, one should never trust the mind. Because anytime it can give you a feeling that okay, you have completely controlled me, and just when you least expect it, and when you relax a bit, it will come and attack you with lust, anger, greed, etc. So therefore, one should always be careful and never be complacent in spiritual life by trusting the mind, thinking that yeah, I'm fine. So therefore, Rishabdev, in order to show this, he did this, and then how he disappeared was also described. It is mentioned that though he was the supreme lord, he hid his nature by appearing dull-witted and behaving like an avadut. He desired to give an appearance of giving up his body because his body is spiritual, just for teaching the yogis on how to give up the body. His body wandered over the earth as if moving by Mahamaya, though actually he was under the influence of Yogamaya. Thus wandering, he reached the gardens of Kotakachala in Karnataka. There, an intense forest fire created by the rubbing of the bamboos burned up the forest along with Rishabhadev, while the fire destroyed the grass bodies of the animals and trees of the garden. Rishabhadev destroyed their subtle bodies and gave them liberation by his mercy. Okay. And in future, Shukadev Goswami is predicting that in future, by the something will happen because of the impact of Rishabhadev. It is mentioned that in Kali Yuga, a king by the name Arhat of the Konka, Venka and Kutaka regions would hear about the activities of Rishabhadev and would foolishly give up his path of Dharma and concoct a deviant path, which is Jainism, which rejects all the scriptures. Followers of this religion will make their own rules which are devoid of clean conduct. They will practice vows against scriptures without proper cleanliness. So it's not that they won't follow austerities, they will follow austerities, but those are not Shastric recommended austerities. They will pluck out their body hairs and ignore the Lord. Karshayanta Sharirastam, as Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, that they will unnecessarily torture their body. This is austerity in the mode of ignorance. They will also criticize the Vedas, the Brahmanas, the sacrifice, the Lord and the devotees, hence they will fall down to hell. Okay. And then we saw that Rishabhadev appeared in this world to teach liberation, which had become lost due to the influence of time. And the sages glorify Rishabhadev as follows. They say, the whole of Bhumandala Bharatvarsha is the most pious because its inhabitants sing about the auspicious activities of the Lord's incarnations. Amongst all the dynasties, the dynasty of Priyavrat is most glorious because Rishabhadev appeared. Rishabhadev is the greatest yogi, and no other yogi can try to imitate him, even in his mind, as he rejected all the siddhis for which they strive so hard at this point of time. Okay, then he says, one who attentively and with faith hears and speaks these pastimes will destroy all sins, will gain all auspiciousness, and will get pure devotion. This is the Falashruti of this section on Rishabhadev. Of the three benefits mentioned above, the third benefit of pure devotion is the highest goal, as the devotees who continually bathe themselves in the lake of bhakti experience an intense bliss, and hence they do not strive even for liberation, though it is considered the highest goal, since they have attained everything by being the servants of the Lord. They have attained everything by being the servants of the Lord. At this point of time, hearing about the glories of the lineage of Priyavrat Maharaj and Swayambhuva Manu, in whose lineage um, the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself in the form of Rishabdev appeared. Okay. Parikshit Maharaj felt little bit despondent that, our lineage is not so glorious because the Supreme Lord did not appear in this Pandava dynasty. So when he was thinking like this, Shukadeva Goswami, immediately sensing what was going on in the heart of Parikshit Maharaj, he speaks this verse. Rajan Patir Gururalam Bhavatam Yadunam Daivam Priya Kulapati Kwachakinkarova Astvevam Anga Bhajatam Bhagavan Mukundo Muktim Dadati Karhichit Smana Bhakti Yogam. He says, O Parikshit, don't feel that you are in any way inferior because the Lord did not appear in your dynasty. Krishna was equal to both the Yadus and the Pandavas by acting as the protector, instructor, object of worship and giver of affection. But out of his intense affection for the Pandavas, he sometimes acted as the servant, messenger and charioteer only for the Pandavas and not even for the Yadus. Saratya Parashada Sevana Sakya Dautya Virasananugamanastavana Pranaman Snigdeshu Pandeshu Jagat Pranatimscha Vishnor Bhaktim Karoti Nrupatis Charanaravinde. So the Lord gives liberation very easily for his devotees, but he chooses to give Bhava Bhakti only to a select few. What then to speak of Prema, which you Pandavas possess? Like this, he speaks and gives assurance to Parikshit Maharaj. Then he says, I offer my respects to Rishabhadev, who taught by his great mercy the attainment of Vaikuntha, which removes all fear from foolish people who are unaware of the highest goal, since they have been involved in activities of the body. Like that. So in this way, we completed this sixth chapter yesterday, and today we will start with the seventh chapter. So I think there were some unanswered points, questions yesterday. So because we are starting a new chapter, I don't wish to carry over the leftover questions and discussion points from the previous chapter to the new chapter. So before we start this seventh chapter, if there are any quick discussion points, comments, questions from the previous chapter which are unaddressed, we can take it right now. So if you have any unanswered questions, either from the chat box or I think Mother Gail had her hands up yesterday. So if there are any further questions from the previous chapter which we need to address, we can address it right now, because once we move on to the seventh chapter, we will, because it's the seventh chapter is, the Bharat Maharaj section is going to start. So Bharat Maharaj section is a whole different section. So let us not carry over the discussions from the previous section to the next section. So now Rishabhadev's section is over. In the first, Priyavrat Maharaj and Rishabhadev, first 6 chapters. Now Bharat Maharaj, then Jada Bharata and his instructions to Rahuguna, that constitutes the next major section, after which we will start with mostly cosmology discussions. Okay. So let us, okay, any quick discussion points, comments, questions from yesterday, day before yesterday, or anything from this particular chapter, we can take it right now. Yes, Mother Gail.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Couple things. One is, we said that Krishna doesn't give bhava to those who worship him, or he doesn't even give bhava to those who worship him.
Yeah.
How so?
It means he does not so easily give. And another meaning is mere worship is not sufficient. That worship should be Anya Bilashita Shunyam and Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam. Only then one will get Bhava Bhakti. That's the meaning.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, just one other thing is, when Shukadeva Goswami was reading Parikshit Maharaj's mind,
Mm-hmm.
and reassuring him
Mm-hmm.
that Krishna did appear in his family, right?
He said he might not have appeared in your family, but the kind of privileges that he gave you, he did not give even the family of his appearance, the Yadu family. So you are very, very fortunate. So please don't think that you are not so fortunate because the Lord did not appear in your family.
But yeah, when he says that, how is it that Krishna didn't appear? He did appear in the family.
He appeared in the family of the Yadus. He did not appear in the family of the Kurus. He was connected to them. But he did not appear in the lineage of Kurus. He did not appear. He appeared in the lineage of the Yadus.
When he appeared as like the cousin of Arjuna, right?
Okay, so this is where you need to understand something. In the Vedic culture, lineage is always from the paternal side. Okay, lineage is always from the paternal side. So when because the girl is married off to another family, so after marriage, the lineage of the girl changes. Okay, so this is called as Gotra. Gotra means lineage. Okay. So till the girl gets married, her Gotra is the Gotra of her father. But the moment she gets married, she accepts the Gotra of her husband. So, so therefore, even though one may be, so the maternal side is not considered, the lineage. The lineage is, the paternal side. So in that way, if you see, Krishna did not appear. He did not really come. So Kunti Maharani was married off in the, she was married to the Kuru dynasty. Okay, so her Gotra changed actually. Her Gotra changed. She was a Kuru. She was no longer a Yadu. So in that way, it was like that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, so although he didn't appear in the Kuru dynasty in terms of lineage, he did do things you said as like the messenger and
in many capacities he acted which he did not act with the Yadus also.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Sita Komal Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, my question is, I have messaged that question text also in the chat also. In Srila Prabhupada's purport in this 6th chapter and 15th text number, 14th
14
text
you have
number,
written. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, Prabhu, my question is this: ki why this particular dynasty is called most famous?
Why is it most famous?
Ji, Prabhu. As compared to other dynasties, I thought Raghu dynasty and Yadu dynasty was most famous, more famous than this dynasty.
Of them, the dynasty of Priyavrat is most famous. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, Ji, Prabhu. Prabhuji, my next question is from text number 15, again from Prabhupada's purport. So Prabhupada says generally yogis desire the yogic perfections of anima, lagima, mahima, and all these things, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So, and so Prabhuji, these are all mystic powers?
Yeah,
Okay, all these are mystic powers.
yeah.
Ji, Prabhuji. Ji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Shakti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Is it so important that while narrating Sukadeva Goswami narrating Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj is asking the dynasties. This thinking of dynasty is so important, Prabhuji.
Thinking of dynasties? Oh, you mean he did not appear in my dynasty like that?
Yeah.
I mean, it is born out of love. For us to think like that, we have a material bodily identification. So therefore, that seems like not a good thing. But in this, but in the and also such feelings when we have in us, it is born out of envy. So therefore, such feelings are not so good. But when it comes to great personalities, perfected devotees like the Pandavas and Parikshit Maharaj, it is born out of genuine prema towards the Supreme Lord. So that which is born out of genuine prema, we cannot, when an ordinary person thinks like that, it is born out of material bodily identification and it is born out of envy. So such feelings are not correct. But when it is born out of prema, such feelings may look very similar to material emotions, but such emotions are spiritual emotions. They are called as vyabhichari bhavas.
Okay.
They are called as vyabhichari bhavas, which are born out of pure love. So they cannot, even though they may look like material emotions, but they are not material emotions.
Okay, Prabhu. And one more continuing question. So, in case if the Yadu thinks that Supreme Lord born in our dynasties, if they think like a kind of pride means that is also pure prema like that. We have to take it.
If they
Any
have prema,
perfect.
it's not that everyone in the Yadu dynasty had prema.
Okay.
In that lineage. If they have prema and if that pride, if you know that the person has prema, then that pride that is seen is just born out of their prema. It is just a vyabhichari bhava. It is not a pride which is born out of mode of passion.
Okay. So it's all the emotions depends on their internal mood, whether it is a prema or something.
Prema, if
Is
they
it
are
my
materially qualified or if they are
spiritual?
spiritual. Yeah, if they are spiritually perfected, then those emotions, even though they may look like material emotions, but they are actually born out of prema.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. I think there is something in the chat box. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, but Puru was the brother of Yadu, Shyam Sundaranand Prabhu says. Yeah, Puru was definitely the brother of Yadu. So that way, if you see, ultimately everything comes from the Manu. So you can say that Puru and Yadu are the same lineage. It's a fair point because from the Puru dynasty only the Kauravas and the Pandavas that lineage comes, and Yadu also. So that way, if you see, both can be connected to Maharaj Yayati, right? Both can be connected to Maharaj Yayati in that sense. Yeah, that way, if you see, you can say in that sense. But still, it is a different branch, right? Even though Yayati is the common branch, but from Yayati branches out Yadu and Puru. Okay. So, so it comes in the lineage of Yayati, but from a different branch. But from a different branch. But anyways, these are details. These are details. The point here is that not whether exactly technically Krishna appears in the lineage of the Pandavas or not. That's just a detail. But the point is here is Parikshit Maharaj experiencing this a particular kind of Vyabhichari Bhava which is born out of Prema. Okay. So such a Vyabhichari Bhava can appear even if you technically prove that he appeared there, then some other Vyabhichari Bhava may manifest. The point is he had Prema for Krishna. That is the essence. The rest is all a detail. Yes, in one sense, Yayati's sons were Yadu and Puru. From the Puru dynasty came the Kauravas and Pandavas, and from the Yadu dynasty came, the Yadavas. And in that, okay, that is correct. There is no doubt about it. But still, if you see that technically, from Yayati, Puru is a different branch, Yadu is a different branch. In the Yadu branch only Krishna comes. In the Puru branch, Krishna does not come. If you see it like that. Okay. Okay, there is another question. In verse number 5.1.9, Brahmaji is called as Hiranyagarbha. We know that Vishnu is called Hiranyagarbha. Yeah, primarily Vishnu is called as Hiranyagarbha, but secondarily Brahmaji is also called as Hiranyagarbha because he is also in charge of that particular universe, a secondary in charge. So the phrase Hiranyagarbha or the name Hiranyagarbha can refer to Vishnu also and Brahmaji also. In the Shastras it is mentioned that all names actually belong to Krishna, but except for some specific names like Narayana, Krishna, Achyuta, Vasudeva, etc., the Lord very gladly shares his names with other lower personalities like Brahma, Shiva, Indra, etc. Even though the word Brahma, Shiva, Indra primarily refers to the Supreme Lord only, but he allows other personalities to use that name in a secondary way. So Brahmaji can call himself as Brahmaji, even though the name Brahma primarily refers to Vishnu only. But Vishnu allows, okay, you can use it, no problem. You can use it. Indra primarily refers to Krishna only. But Krishna says, okay, no problem, you can use it. So like that. So similarly, the word Hiranyagarbha, both it refers to one who is the storehouse of all the living entities in a particular universe, or the master of all the living entities in a particular universe. Primarily is Vishnu, but secondarily is Brahma. So the primary Hiranyagarbha is Vishnu. Secondarily, Brahmaji also can be called as Hiranyagarbha, and he is called. That's perfectly fine. Yes, Deepa Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams. Prabhuji, I have a few thoughts. I don't know how exactly to frame the question, but I'll just be asking. You can make sense out of it and just let me know. That here for Rishabh Dev, it is being mentioned that he's come to teach moksha, means how to get liberated. So
Yeah.
we see that many people usually think that the four Purusharthas the one who are aiming for like dharma, artha, kama, moksha, they usually think that moksha means getting rid of the suffering of this material world. But
Yeah.
do we understand that one, if they have to understand that they have to get moksha means they have to be so detached with matter as much as like Rishabdev, like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to show how to be a bhakta. Is it, can we say that Rishabdev is showing how one
Yeah.
who, eh, can we relate it that way,
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
please? So which
Yeah.
means that we have to be really that disgusted with matter, or otherwise indifferent to matter, whatever is happening around us, we don't really care. And that is the
It
stage where
means no,
one
that
becomes.
is not like, yeah. If you become qualified that way, not that you act
Hmm,
detached, but you are internally
hmm.
detached. And that
Internally
detachment comes
detached.
from, yeah, following the prerequisites of jnana, which is generally karma.
Hmm, hmm. So is it like this becomes the role model for people? But do really all the yogis who are aspiring for moksha, do they become like this? And if they don't become like this,
If they don't come to this stage of detachment, then there is no moksha for them.
okay. And another question I had was like, uh, for people who are aspiring for Krishna prema and wanting to do everything for pleasure of Krishna, their their destination ultimately is Goloka. Uh, who and you mentioned earlier once in I think 5.5 that chapter that one who is who knows the existence, matlab the impersonalist knows that Lord's form is there, but they don't aspire for that. They don't worship that form, and therefore they
Worship
get
that form, but they don't. They worship that form, but they
form.
may
They
not.
don't
They don't aspire to establish a relationship with that form.
relationship, and so therefore Brahma Jyoti. So I want to know who exactly goes to Brahma Jyoti and who exactly goes to Vaikuntha. What is the differentiation?
If someone's practice has, um, if someone has very meager bhakti, just enough bhakti to worship the Supreme Lord, uh, but with the predominance of karma, if their faith in karma is predominant and faith in bhakti is very meager, but enough to accept that the absolute truth is a person, and by worshipping him only, mm, one can get all the results. Even though that worship may be mixed with karma, with the elements of karma, but nevertheless, if they understand that worship means it has to be only Vishnu, and this Vishnu has a form. Uh, when people have this understanding, but nevertheless have more attachment to karma than to bhakti, then such people, they will take up to the path of karma yoga. First start with sakama karma yoga, then go to nishkama karma yoga. By that they will get purified and they will come to the
Hmm.
stage of jnana yoga, ashtanga
Gyan
yoga,
yoga.
and then they will
Hmm.
become a jivan mukta, and then they will attain sayujya mukti or impersonal liberation. Okay. So
Okay.
now, if they have, if such people, if these practitioners have attraction to karma, but if they have, okay, I think better I share a screen and then write
Hmm.
this whole thing. I have done this many times before, but I will do once more
Yes, Prabhuji.
so that it becomes little easier to understand. I'll just share. Okay. So now there is. Let us first take the path of Gunibhuta Bhakti. Okay. So Gunibhuta Bhakti means it starts with Sakama Karma Yoga. Okay. So Sakama
Hmm.
Karma Yoga, it matures into Nishkama Karma Yoga. Okay. And it matures into Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. And then there is Sayujya Mukti. Okay.
And
This
even
is
in
if
Ashtanga Yoga, here they are meditating on the form of the Lord sitting within the heart. Are they meditating on the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu?
all these people should accept a personal form. There is no question. If someone thinks that the absolute truth is impersonal, there is no personal form, such people cannot attain any perfection. They are
Yes.
Mayavadis, and Mayavadis, they aspire to go to Brahma Jyoti, but they never leave the material world, because if they don't accept a personal form, they cannot attain perfection.
Yes.
Okay. So now, this is Gunibhuta Bhakti. Now, there is what is called as Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti. So in Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti, there is predominance of Bhakti. Okay. So there, a person may start as a Karma Mishra Bhakta, and he may become a Jnana Mishra Bhakta, and then attain Shantarati in Vaikuntha. Okay. Jnana Mishra Bhakta, or you can say Yoga Mishra Bhakta, where Bhakti is predominant, but there is little bit of Jnana or Yoga. Or if this Karma Mishra Bhakti directly matures, they may attain Salokya Mukti. They go to Vaikuntha, but they may not have Shantarati. Shantarati is a very basic attachment to Krishna. Very intangible, very basic attachment to Krishna in a particular relationship. In the mood of Shanta, neutrality. Now, Shuddha Bhaktas. So in Shuddha Bhakti, there is Shraddha to Prema. Okay. So these are the three. So Gunibhuta Bhakti, if there is Gunibhuta Bhakti, so generally Sakama Karma becomes Nishkama Karma. But if someone remains in Sakama Karma, they may go to Swarga and then come back, and then continue Sakama Karma, then go to Swarga, come back, like that. But generally, if they perform Sakama Karma Yoga, then they understand that, the goal of life cannot be just stay in this material world and enjoy in this material world. The goal of this life is to attain liberation. So when they understand that the goal of life is to attain liberation, then they accept the path of Nishkama Karma Yoga. But where they identify a higher goal of liberation, but still their heart is filled with some anarthas. So therefore they practice Nishkama Karma Yoga, where they perform the Varnashrama duties with detachment. They perform the Varnashrama duties with detachment, and gradually over a period of time, uh, they their anarthas also are removed, and they come to the stage of Jnana and Ashtanga Yoga, where they practice Jnana and Ashtanga Yoga by focusing on attaining liberation. And at some point, they become Jivan Muktas, they become completely purified. And when they become completely purified, uh, they give up the practices of Jnana and Ashtanga and then attain liberation. So, this is the gradual path. This is the gradual path where Bhakti is secondary and Karma Jnana Yoga are primary. So they will attain only Sahijya Mukti as long as Bhakti is uh, secondary. Okay. But these practitioners, sometimes they may get more devotional association. Okay. They may get more devotional association, and that way, Sakama Karma Yogi or Nishkama Karma Yogi may travel to become a Karma Mishra Bhakta, where instead of karma maturing into jnana, the bhakti element may become more enhanced because of good association. they may become Karma Mishra Bhaktas. And that Karma Mishra Bhakta further may become a Jnana Mishra Bhakta and Yoga Mishra Bhakta and attain Shantarati, or that Karma Mishra Bhakta may attain Salokya Mukti. And similarly here, the Jnana Mishra Bhakta or the Yoga Mishra Bhakta, instead of pursuing the gradual path to Gunibhuta Bhakti path to Sahyajya Mukti, if they get good association, they may become Jnana Mishra Bhakta or Yoga Mishra Bhakta also. Okay. Or
So if
if
I have to,
these practitioners, if these practitioners get pure devotional association, then from Karma Yogis or from Karma Mishra Bhaktas, they may directly become Shuddha Bhaktas, Shraddha,
Hmm.
Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana, Kriya, and they may attain Prema also. And similarly, these Jnana Mishra Bhaktas or Yoga Mishra Bhaktas or the Jnana Yogis or Ashtanga Yogis may directly travel to the path of Shuddha Bhakti, where they start from Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana, Kriya, like that also. So it depends on the association. So if they don't get a superior devotional association, then they travel vertically. As in Sakama Karma Yogi becomes a Nishkama Karma Yogi, Nishkama Karma Yogi later becomes a Jnana Yogi, Ashtanga Yogi, and attains Sahyajya Mukti. But if there is an interference of some devotees with higher qualification,
they can directly go into the Shuddha Bhakti path, the
Shuddha
Shraddha
Bhakti
Prem.
or Pradhani Bhuta, depending on what kind of association that they get.
Prabhuji, in terms of activities, can you give a small example to differentiate, like what would be the activities of a Jnana Yogi or Ashtanga Yogi, but a Jnana Mishra Bhakta, where Bhakti is predominant, but Jnana is a secondary. This one, can you just give an example to just help me differentiate between these two? I'm assuming that Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga is where one is desiring liberation but still meditating on the form of the Lord. There is no bhakti, or the service element is not there. But I want
It
to
is
know, like,
never
what
it
is
is
the...
never not there. It
Okay.
should definitely be there. If Bhakti element is not there, they are not proper Jnana Yogis or Ashtanga Yogis, and they will not get any result for that practice. That it could be the
So,
Bhakti element could be minimal. The Bhakti
yeah,
element could be
but it should
minimal.
still be there.
It should definitely be there. So
So, meditating on the Lord's form, that is also an activity that can be considered a bhakti.
yeah.
And what happens with this JMB, Jnana Mishra Bhakta?
Jnana Mishra Bhaktas, they will have some elements of Jnana practice, but mainly the elements of Bhakti will be more. Shravanam, Kirtanam will be more, and the practices of Jnana and Yogam will be little bit minimal. So it is all a question of whether Jnana Yoga or Jnana Mishra Bhakta, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, they are same. The practices are same, but the proportion is more. The Bhakti elements are more, the Jnana elements are less. Whereas in Jnana Yoga, the Bhakti element is less, but Jnana element is more. But both are mixed. But in one case, Bhakti is mixed with little bit of Jnana. In the other case, Jnana is mixed with little bit of Bhakti.
Okay. Is there any example of somebody, sorry Prabhuji for extending this question, but from Bhagavatam, can you give examples of this and that?
Bhagavatam generally speaks about pure devotees only.
Devotees
But
only, okay.
but Jnana Mishra Bhaktas are generally the four Kumaras. Yoga Mishra Bhaktas are the Nava Yogendras. And all of them were these kind of practitioners before coming to pure Bhakti. All of them got transformed into pure Bhakti. So
Yes.
The Karma Mishra Bhakta, very slight Karma Mishra Bhakti is mentioned to be in Kardama Muni. And and Jnana Mishra Bhaktis are the four Kumaras, and the Nava Yogendras were Yoga Mishra Bhaktas, and the proper Karma Yogis. The classic example is King Prachina Barhi, whom we saw in the fourth canto,
Yes.
and the prop or and the Sakama Karma Yogi category, you will get Daksha, and Proper Ashtanga yogis, probably Saubhari Muni would fall in the category of proper Ashtanga yogi. Jnana yogi, that kind of category, Saubhari Muni will fall within that category.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, something in the chat box. Shuddha Bhakta Shraddha and Jnana or Ashtanga Yogi Shraddha is on what? I mean, what is the difference? Because everyone has some faith. Yeah. I don't understand the meaning of the question. Let me try to, in terms of Prayojan, Ashuddha Bhakta Shraddha is Prema, and Jnana Yogi or an Ashtanga Yogi Shraddha is an liberation. In terms of Abhideya, Ashuddha Bhakta's faith is in Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. In terms for a Jnana Yogi or an Ashtanga Yogi, it will be mainly the limbs of Jnana and Ashtanga with some element of Bhakti. And in terms of Sambandha Jnana, the faith of the Shuddha Bhakta is, this is described in Bhoktaram Yajnatabasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Yatva Mam Shantim Richati. So, for a Shuddha Bhakta, he sees the Supreme Lord as an object of relationship. That is his Sambandha Jnana. And of course, he also sees that that same Supreme Lord fulfills the desire of the Karma Yogi, Jnana Yogi. He sees that. But when it comes to his personal relationship, he sees the Supreme Lord as the object of a relationship in one of the five rasas. And for a Jnana Yogi or an Ashtanga Yogi, he sees the Supreme Lord as Yajna book, Tapo book, like that. He sees that, he's the one who accepts all the sacrifices and gives me the result of my karma. Or the Jnana, the Ashtanga, the Jnana Yogi sees him as Tapo book. For all the tapasya that I am doing, he is the one who accepts all the tapasya and gives the results of my tapasya. And the Ashtanga Yogi sees him as Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is a super soul controlling the whole universe like that. That is the highest understanding. Whereas the Bhakta, he understands all of this. He understands that he is Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He understands that. But the relationship which he is seeing in him and aspiring for is Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. He is the best well-wisher and best well-wishing friend and a relative. So he sees in that particular way. So in this way, if you see the faith, faith is prerequisite for all practices, not just spiritual practices, but even in the material world to perform any activity, there has to be some faith. So without faith, no one will perform any activity. So faith is a prerequisite for everything. But in the case of so similarly, for karma, jnana, yoga, or bhakti, the faith is needed, but the nature of that faith changes. So for the karma yogi, his sambandha, abhideya, and prayojana is different, and he has faith in this particular sambandha, abhideya, and prayojana. And similarly for jnana yogi, ashtanga yogi, and bhakti yogi, their sambandha, the faith in sambandha, abhideya, and prayojana changes accordingly, like that. And in terms of Shraddha and scriptures, if you talk about the Karma Yogis will have faith in the Dharma Shastras. They will consider the Dharma Shastras as the topmost. Similarly, for the Jnana Yogis, they will consider the Jnana Shastras as the topmost. And for the Yogis, they will consider the Yoga Shastras as the topmost. And for the Bhakti Yogis, they will consider the Bhakti Shastras as the topmost and the essence of all the scriptures. So, like that. Okay, there is more questions. Some worship Lord Shiva as Jyoti, which means that they are aspiring for the impersonal liberation. They think that the Lord is impersonal and they are aspiring for it. I don't know whether I should put them in the category of Devata worshippers, because I look at Kartikeya worshippers or some other demigod worshippers. They are very specific that they are aspiring for some material goals and they don't look for anything else beyond that. But if you look at the worshippers of Lord Shiva, Shaktas, they properly aspire for impersonal Brahmajyoti. They have no material aspiration. So which category do they fall? Well, actually, Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva's worshippers are of two types. There are ones who consider Lord Shiva as the topmost, okay, even superior to Lord Vishnu. So such people are considered to be the inferior Shaivites. The inferior Shaivites, and generally those kind of Shaivites aspire for material results. They aspire for some material benefit. They get only material benefit from that. But the superior Shaivites are those who at least accept Lord Shiva as being non-different from Lord Vishnu. So which means they put Lord Shiva and Vishnu on the same pedestal and they worship accordingly. So for such personalities, they can attain Shivaloka. And from there, if they become Vaishnavas, they may attain Brahmajyoti. Otherwise, Lord Shiva himself cannot give impersonal liberation. That has to come only if they become worshippers of Vishnu. And similarly, Shaktas, those who worship the material energy Shakti, they will get only material benefits. They cannot get transcendental benefits. Even though they may aspire for liberation, aspiring for liberation and attaining liberation are two different things. Aspiring for liberation and attaining liberation are two different things. Just like the Mayavadis also aspire for liberation, but they don't attain. Similarly, the Shaktas, if they accept that Shakti as a material energy of Vishnu and worship Vishnu, then there is liberation. Otherwise, merely aspiring for liberation will not land them in liberation. And if they are not worshippers of Vishnu, you cannot strictly categorize them as Karma Yogi, Jnana Yogi, or Ashtanga Yogi. Maybe in terms of their mentality, they may be, but in terms of the results, you cannot call them as Karma Yogi, Jnana Yogi, Ashtanga Yogi. Because, just like you can say that someone may have an IQ to crack an exam, but if that person has not enrolled in a school, just merely possessing that IQ will not allow him to get a degree. So in the same way, uh, the Shaktas, some of the Shaktas may show a karma yogic mentality and practice. Or some others may show some jnana yoga mentality and practice and aspiration for liberation and things like that. But if they do not worship Vishnu as the supreme, okay, there is no question of their attaining that. So they can only be called as namesake karma yogic shaktas or namesake jnana yoga shaktas, like that. But in reality, without worshipping Vishnu, there is no question of attaining perfection. So if they clearly see that Shakti as the energy of Vishnu, and then they can be considered to be superior Shaktas. But otherwise, if they are pure, if they just aspire for liberation but are not worshipping Vishnu, they are still considered to be demigod worshippers only. Keshav Mataji.
Nareshna Prabhuji, regarding Jivan Muktas, Prabhuji, even the Jnana Yogis, the final stage is Jivan Mukta, then they will liberate now, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, so the Jivan Muktas, like after giving up Jnana only they attain this Jivan Mukta stage, na Prabhuji. Finally, only Bhakti stays there. That stage,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
secondary
Jivan.
bhakti stays.
Yeah, secondary Bhakti. So they will be living here only, Prabhuji, in this material world only, in that stage.
Yeah. Till they attain liberation, they will be here.
So, do we have any examples, Prabhuji, for such people? I'm just curious to know, even present day life, are they existing here now also, Prabhuji, Jivan Muktas, in through
They
this
must
path?
be. They must be. I don't know personally, but they must be living probably.
Oh. And devotees are also called Jivan Mukta. I mean, pure devotees, perfect devotees here,
Just
like
like
Srila
just like prema is also called as mukti. Um, so prema is also called in one sense. Prema is also called as mukti. It's one type of mukti. Vimukti, a special type of mukti. So that way, those who have attained prema and still living in this world, you can call them as Jivan Muktas.
Like Srila
In the bhakti
Prabhupada and all
line.
acharyas, all those people.
Yeah, they are, if they are Nitya Siddhas, you cannot call them as Jivan Muktas. If they are Nitya Siddhas, they are, Siddhas. They are not just Muktas. Muktas means one who was once bound and then got liberated. They are called as, Muktas.
Sadhana siddhas before they go
Yeah,
back.
generally, yeah, you can call them as, yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji. But any known personalities, I mean, other than our people, Praja, other than devotees, known personalities who is Jivan Mukta, we don't know such example now, Prabhuji, current.
I don't know,
Mm.
and I have honestly not bothered to know also.
Thank you, Praja. Hare Krishna.
Because someone has to confirm and clarify that for this reason, this personality is a Jivan Mukta, because look at their practices and all that. I mean, that much interest is also not there. Yeah, anyways, Madhavi Gopi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, this is regarding, you were explaining about Lord Shiva's position and two types of Shaivites. So, one type of Shaivites you mentioned that they have faith that Lord Shiva is like equal to Lord Vishnu and they attain the Sayajya. So, I was just thinking that that becomes the second Namaparatma, Prabhuji. So,
Yeah.
that means someone doing.
So that is why that is why the best of the Shaivites are considered to be the most inferior Vaishnavites. So
Okay,
for
so
a Vaishnava to consider Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva on the same pedestal as Vishnu is an offense. But for a Shaivite, it is considered to be they are considered to be the greatest because they are not Vaishnavas. At least they are willing to put Lord Vishnu on the same pedestal as Lord Shiva. That is considered to be a progress from considering Lord Shiva to be superior to Vishnu. So, but for a Vaishnava, that is why they will not get prema. They can get at the most Sahajya Mukti. And which Sahajya Mukti is like a punishment for the Vaishnavas. So, Kaivalyam Narakayate, they consider it as good as Naraka. Whereas for the Shaivites, that's like a big reward. So, yeah, it is definitely a Namaparad. But considering from where they are coming, it is a progress. I mean, if considering Lord Shiva to be Vishnu to be equal as Lord Shiva is an offense, then how much more of an offense would it be if someone thinks that Lord Shiva is superior to Vishnu? At least from that stage, they have come to the stage of considering Lord Vishnu and Shiva to be equal in some sort of worship of Vishnu. So for that reason they attain till Sahajya Mukti they can attain.
also, I was having this doubt, Prabhuji, that when we consider Namaprad, so whether these Namaprads are only meant for Vaishnavas and not for others. Means this is my genuine
They are
doubt
only for
since long time.
Vaishnavas. Yeah, only for Vaishnavas. So, I mean, when we say Vaishnavas, pure Vaishnavas, all the offenses are applicable only for practicing pure devotees, because some of these offenses, like to consider, the see, some of if someone does not have pure devotional faith, it is impossible for them to avoid all 10 offenses. They will be committing some offense. For example, they will consider one holy name is sufficient to completely destroy all karma. So, a karma mishra bhakta, even though he has predominance of bhakti, he cannot believe it. He cannot believe it. He will think that he will at least subtly think that this must be an exaggeration. Because if
Okay.
he thinks that it is not an exaggeration, then he will give up all his practices of karma and exclusively chant the holy names. But he will not do it because he does not have faith in that. So he will subtly think, he may not explicitly say, but he may subtly think this must be an exaggeration. So that is an offense. But because of that offense, but anyways, he cannot attain prema. And anyways, he is not aspiring for prema. So he is anyways aspiring for a compromised destination. That is possible. For a compromised destination, that is possible. But if you want the highest destination of prema, then all 10 offenses must be completely rooted out. And similarly, a Gunibhuta Bhakta, like one who is practicing Karma Yogi or Jnana Yogi, you will see that he will definitely consider the limbs of karma to be superior to the limbs of bhakti, which is the eighth offense? To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra to be one of the auspicious
Yeah.
ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. So they will commit that offense. Okay. So that offense is accepted for them. It is not considered an offense for them. Because anyways, they are aspiring only for a compromised destination, for a compromised goal. For a compromised goal, we can, some of the offenses are acceptable. Some of the offenses are acceptable. They, like that.
Okay. Okay, that means, Prabhuji, these offenses, means namaprad, what we talk about, is from the standpoint of where the person is standing, means
Yeah.
in his devotion. Whether, means, and it will basically, when we talk about devotees, it will cause hindrance in attaining the prema. That is the biggest loss they will have if they commit namaprad. But for
Yeah.
others, that is never the goal. So,
Yeah.
they may get some of the things which may appear as a benefit, but
Yeah.
because they were not entitled for prema anyways, so that
Yeah.
way it has to be seen.
Yeah.
Okay, and one
So
more.
just like if you want to get into the highest colleges, there is a very high cutoff, 99 percentile. But for little the next tier 2 colleges, your 97, 98 percentile might be good enough. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and for the even lower tier colleges, pass mark may be good enough. Few. So therefore, yeah. So it is like that. So similarly, in these offenses also, um, for those who are aspiring for lower goals, the very fact that they are aspiring for lower goals, some of these offenses they will definitely do. It cannot be avoided. But certain offenses, at any cost, they should not do. Like Vaishnava Aparad, they cannot do. That will have a serious effect. Even in their attaining that compromised goal, that will be severely compromised if they commit those kind of offenses. Okay. But certain offenses, they cannot avoid like that.
Prabhuji, regarding the Vaishnava Aparad, even if the person is karmi or jnani or whatever, but still they will face the same result as the devotees will face for Vaishnava Paradhana. Because as we see in the case of Suruchi and things like that, she was not devotee as such, and Dhruva was not a devotee as well at that point of time. But when Dhruva
Yeah.
became devotee, that was considered as the greatest Vaishnava
Yeah.
Aparad. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he faced. So that Vaishnava Aparad will have the same effect for any practitioner. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And one last small point, Prabhuji. For all sampradayas, the stain of nam aparad will be having the same effect or same connotation as we discuss in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, Prabhuji.
Yeah, it is from Padma Purana. It is not any Gaudiya Vaishnava literature.
Okay, so it applies to all four sampradayas, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Srinivas Prasad Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dhanutram Prabhuji, kindly accept my
Hello,
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I just wanted to ask, like, we basically belong to Kashmir and we have been following Shivism from my childhood. And I have been praying to Lord Shiva, and I always feel that I got to Krishna consciousness just because of Lord Shiva. And I used to always pray nothing else. So, whatever is best for me, just guide me. So
Mhm.
I still have shivling which my parents had, and I just water with shivling in my altar. So and we have Shivratri, a big festival once in a year. So that also we do. We have the complete paraphernalia for that. So I worship Lord Shiva as Vaishnam Nam Yatha Shambhu. So, but how do we? Are we committing some like? Kindly guide me. So, how should I see Lord Shiva while
You just mentioned um, you see him as the greatest Vaishnava and give him the same respect as you would give to the greatest of Vaishnavas.
Mhm.
Now, should we have him on the altar?
Hmm.
Yeah, there is nothing wrong. The
Hmm.
only thing is, the people who visit your houses and who take guidance from you, they should not think that a part of a Gaudiya Vaishnava altar should have a shivling also. That
Hmm.
responsibility you have,
Hmm.
because you have a past connection and they had been worshipping.
Hmm.
So if see, there is technically no problem,
Hmm.
but the only thing is, uh, people who are connected to you and who take inspiration from you should not think that it is a norm.
Hmm.
Like we see the example of that mother who during marriage she sees a cat and then she takes a basket and covers the cat with the basket so that the cat does not mess up with the wedding festivities. And then the daughter sees this and the daughter thinks that, oh, this is an approved ritual in a marriage. So
Hmm.
when that daughter's daughter starts getting married, she goes looking for a cat and a basket so that she can perform that ritual. It should not become like that. Okay.
Correct.
So technically there is nothing wrong.
Hmm.
You can do that, but then you do have a responsibility also towards people who look up to you.
Hmm.
They may not have worshipped Lord Shiva in their tradition.
Hmm.
Okay. So that responsibility is there. So what I would suggest is, if you don't have any such responsibilities to your subordinates, it's no problem, you can do it. If
Hmm.
not, you can have a separate altar inside where you can privately do
Correct.
that worship,
Correct.
because he does not in one sense come in our sampradaya.
Hmm.
So again, there is technically nothing wrong if you keep him on a lower pedestal on your altar. There is on a pedestal lower than Krishna, and
Hmm.
worship him. There is nothing wrong about it.
Hmm.
But the only thing is, you have your responsibility towards your subordinates also. It's
Hmm.
not that all of them start getting a shivling and then they keep it on their altar. It should not happen like that.
Very true. No, it has been always in my mind. So this came during discussion, and I thought that this is the best time to clarify this doubt. And thank you so very much for explaining so beautifully.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. So, okay. So if there are no further discussion points, comments, or questions, we have about 20 minutes time. Let's see, we will start the next chapter and cover whatever in 20 minutes we can cover, we will cover. So we will start with the 7th chapter. The chapter is titled as Activities of King Bharata. Activities of King Bharata. So that is the 7th chapter of the 5th canto. Because Rishabhadev's episode is over, and after Rishabhadev, he coronated Bharat Maharaj, and he instructed all his other sons that you should follow the Vaishnava, that you should follow is Bharat Maharaj. He is the most exalted amongst all the Vaishnavas, so you should follow him. So his story is going to start from the 7th chapter onwards, and it will go on for another, I think almost like, I think till 13th, I think till 14th chapter, this whole discussion goes. 7th to 14th, I think 8 chapters, Bharat Maharaj and, to Jada Bharata and his teachings to, Rahugana. I think it continues till the 14th chapter. So, which means the next 8 chapters will be discussing about Bharat Maharaj and his subsequent 2 births. And till he attains perfection, we will be discussing that. Okay, someone reminded today is the most auspicious day of Srila Jiva Goswami's disappearance. So, we can offer our prayers at his lotus feet so that he blesses this family of devotees to inspire each other in Krishna consciousness so that we stay focused in attaining our goal and serving the mission of Srila Prabhupada in our own capacity. Okay, let us start. Shri Shuka Uvacha Bharatastu Mahabhagavato Yada Bhagavatavani Tala Paripalanaya Sanchintitas Tad Anushasana Paraha Panchajanim Vishwarupa Duhitaram Upayeme. Bharatastu Mahabhagavata. Just as Rishabha was the Lord, his son Bharata was a great devotee of the Lord. Yada Bhagavata Sanchintaha. When he was entrusted by Rishabha, Avanitala Paripalanaya, to protect the earth. Tad Anushasana Paraha. Just give me 1 second. Oh, something wrong. Okay. I think something wrong with my PowerPoint. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. So he says, just as Shrishabhadev was the Lord, his son Bharata was a great devotee of the Lord. Bharatastu Mahabhagavatah Yada Bhagavata Sanchintitah. When he was entrusted by the Supreme Lord Rishabhadev, Avanitala Paripalanaya, to protect the earth, Tad Anushasana Paraha, he engaged in ruling Panchajanim Vishwarupa Duhitaram Upayeme. He married the daughter of Vishwarup, named as Panchajani. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti writes, the seventh chapter describes how Bharata, with strong determination, worshipped the Lord with performance of sacrifices while at home and with flowers while in the forest. Rishabhadev was the Lord and Bharata was a great devotee of the Lord. That is indicated by the word tu, Bharatastu, Mahabhagavato. Syam uhava atmajan katsanyena anurupan atmanah panchajanyam pancha janayamasa bhutadir iva bhuta sukshmani sumatim rashtrabritam sudarshanam avaranam dhumraketum iti. Just as the false ego creates the subtle sense objects, from the Rupa, Rasa, Sparsha, Gandha, Shabda are created by tamasic ahankar. From tamasic ahankar, you know, everything is created. So, Maharaj Bharata created 5 sons. Atmanah Pancha Atmajan Katsanyena Anurupam Janayamasa. They are very perfect sons. Satyam, in the womb of his wife Panchajani. And what were their names? Sumati, Rashtrabrita, Sudarshana, Avarana, and Dhumraketu. These were the names of the sons. Sumati, Rashtrabrita, Sudarshana, Avarana, and Dhumraketu. Anyone has ever heard? This has always been a doubt. Maybe you have heard it from somewhere. Maybe you have heard it from somewhere, or you have read it somewhere. Any idea why? I mean, these great personalities, one would imagine in this world, even in Kali Yuga, even not so devotional parents name their children with the names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Govinda, Achyuta, Rishikesh, and so on. How is it that such great personalities they named their sons? Maybe have you ever heard any explanation for this? That Sumati is not necessarily a very devotional name. Dhumraketu is not necessarily a very devotional name. Of course, Sudarshana, you can take it as, maybe if it refers to the Sudarshan Chakra, it is definitely Rashtrabrita. These sounds more like Kshatriya names. So probably these were like I don't know, maybe parents used to give two or three names, sometimes 3 or 4 names to their children. Okay. One would be the official name, and the 3 would be like unofficial names. The mother likes one name, the father likes one name, and the aunt or someone, they like another name. They choose 3 or 4 names, but they make one name very official. So probably these kings, especially, probably they were given names. The official name would be something which would indicate probably their Kshatriya nature, probably. Okay. Like Rashtra Brita is one who protects the Rashtra, like that, maybe. So, yeah, anyone has ever heard why such names are given? You must have heard it from somewhere. I don't have any idea. Okay, someone says Shyam Sundaranand Prabhu says, according to their qualities and activities. Okay. Maharaj Mataji says, based on the gunas of the child, the Raj Purohit used to give the names, is what I heard. Oh, probably. Yeah, Duryodhana was actually called as Suyodhana, maybe. Yeah. Maybe according to the astrological charts, what activities they will do, the parents give names. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe quite possible. Maybe it is something like that. Quite possible. Yeah. Anyways. Ajanabam nametad varsham bharatam iti yata arabhya vapadishanti. The place was known as Ajanaba Varsha. So Aja means born out of, Naba is Nabi. So Rishabhadev was born out of Nabi. So he was called as Ajanaba. And the Varsha was known as Ajanaba Varsha during Rishabhadev's time. But after Rishabhadev's time, when Bharat Maharaj took over, it was called as Bharata Varsha. But from Maharaj Bharat's reign, it has become known as Bharata Varsha. Because its ruler was the son of Nabi, the planet was known as Ajanab. Since it is used in a name, it does not become Ajanab, the country belonging to Rishabha and Nabi. The land became known as Bharata because Bharata ruled it. Sa Bahuvid Mahipatihi Pitru Pitamahavad Uruvatsalyataya Sve Sve Karmani Vartamanaha Prajaha Swadharmam Anuvartamanaha Paryapalayat. Maharaj Bharata, a learned king, like his father and grandfather, engaged in his own duties. Sve Sve Karmani Vartamanaha. Okay. Which means he engaged in his duties of a king, not just devotional duties. He engaged in the duties of a king, the Varnashrama duties of a king properly, because it is important to set the right example for those people who may not have qualification for Shuddha Bhakti. Prajaha Swadharmam Anuvartamanaha Paryapalayat, and engage the citizens in their duties. Uruvatsalataya, with great affection, he himself practiced and also engaged the citizens in those duties. Ije cha Bhagavantam Yajna Kraturupam Kratubir Uchavachaihi Shraddaya Hrita Agnihotra Darsha Paurnamasa Chaturmasya Pashu Somanam Prakriti Vikritibir Anusavanam Chaturhotra Vidina. Bharata constantly worshipped the Lord, who is the form of sacrifice, without offering animals. So Yajna is the sacrifice which has offering of animals, and Kratu is offerings, a sacrifice which does not involve animal sacrifices. So he constantly worshipped the Lord, who is the form of sacrifice, with and without offering of animals, through large and small sacrifices named Agnihotra, Darsha Paurnamasa, Chaturmasya, animal sacrifices, and Soma sacrifices, complete or partial, according to the rules involving the four priests. Hota, Udgata, you know, what are the four? Hota, Udgata, Brahma, and Advaryu, and Advaryu. These four kinds of priests, which are accepted with faith by the karmis. Shraddaya Ahrita. So it says Shraddaya Ahrita, but see here, the word karmis is added by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Which means it is faithfully these kind of practices and these personalities who preside over these yajnas are faithfully accepted by the karmis. Okay. He worshipped the Lord, who is the form of sacrifice, without and with offering animal offerings through large and small animal sacrifices. These were accepted by the performers of karma as their own. He performed these with all elements and with fewer elements. By these two types, he performed sacrifices. संप्रचरत्सु नानायागेषु विरचित अंगक्रियेषु अपूर्वं यत्तत् क्रियाफलं धर्माख्यं परे ब्रह्मणि यज्ञपुरुषे सर्वदेवतालिंगानां मंत्राणाम् अर्थ नियामकतया साक्षात् कर्तरि. I think we will not take this verse because this is a very, very important verse and this needs lot of time to elaborate on, and there will be a lot of questions also on this. So I will pause here. I will not take this verse because this is a very important verse. I think it must have a very long purport. Yeah, you see here. This is a very important purport. This is the foundational verse of this whole chapter. So, with 5 minutes remaining, it would be very unfair to take this verse right now. We will pause here and continue this discussion tomorrow. So, thank you all very much for your patient listening and your enthusiastic participation. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.